Hey folks, Species 7 here. How's everybody doing? Welcome back. This is, of course, Hagenstadt Farm, and this is my Let's Play of Farming Simulator 2013 with the more realistic mod installed. So here we go. We are harvesting our first field of barley. So, kind of want to see how this compares to the wheat harvest that we had done previously here. I do have all the numbers for that, exactly how much crop we got and what it cost us to put it in the ground. And when the barley's done, we will compare those figures and see what's what and what's worth what. So, there does seem to indeed be a logic to the rather dramatic seed increase prices as opposed to the yields on the sales. So, one thing that hasn't changed in this mod, though, it's the exact same overlay for crops. In other words, if you use either chemical fertilizer or liquid manure, you will get the same plus, I think it's plus 50% crop increase that you got before the mod. That's sort of laid right into the game. And doing both does not increase that. It's strictly done on a layer thing. If the layer's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. So, other than that, it took a while to clear off the other two fields, get the bales into the barn, get it all paid for. And as I showed you guys last time, the result of that was a nice shiny new tractor. So we have a decent sized tractor now to haul our lovely trailer about in. And of course this would be our lovely trailer over here. We also picked ourselves up the new seeder and new cultivator. So we're doing pretty good. Things are coming along. I guess probably the next thing we might consider would be whether we want to pick up another field or not. So, field 22 came up for auction. Came up for auction. Problem with it is you can see here on the map, it's right up in the top right hand corner, field 22. Yeah, not really the most desirable. Like 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21 I would certainly buy before 22. And then maybe 22 and 23 if I didn't go up the hill instead and go with 26 and 7. But, field auctions, for everyone who's not all that familiar with them, you will get a field for less money than the sticker price. It is quite a process, and your original bid will never stick. They will always raise it 3 or 4 times. And each of those raises, of course, costs you $1,000. I believe field 22, when it did quote-unquote sell, of course it is still for sale. Unless you buy them, they do actually stay up for sale. You get a notice saying so-and-so bought the field. But as you can see, it is still white. It is still for sale. I believe it went for about $20,000 under cost. So, I mean, it's a nice savings, but again, it's not like we're hurting for a piece of property way the heck over there. We could do much better with, say, field 17. So, our sheeps. How are our sheeps doing? Hello, the sheeps. Look at all the lovely sheeps. Let's make sure they're topped up. I would imagine they are. Although I think I fast-forwarded through the night to get the crop up, so they might actually need a good dollop of grass. And they do. Look at that. Uh-oh. 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 Whoa. And we are out of control. So, I hope everybody's enjoying the beginning of fall. It's always kind of a drag to see the summer go, although I don't know, a little bit of an odd summer this year. So, and I've been kind of looking forward to the winter. I got a lot of inside projects planned besides the usual work. I've been working pretty hard the last couple of weeks, but that's okay. Means I won't be paying any rent this month. That always helps. So let's get our grass filled up so we can make sure our sheep are fat and happy, because we only like to have happy sheep. So, beyond that, finally broke down, bought myself a PlayStation 3 yesterday. Never owned a PlayStation up to this point, always been a dedicated Xbox fanboy. But they've sort of been pissing me off lately. Just the amount of advertising, if nothing else. You know, that and their sort of double dipping policy. You know, I don't do cable TV, but I do have Netflix, and conveniently enough, I was running Netflix through my Xbox, so that way I don't have to have my gaming rig hooked up to my TV out in the living room. I can have it in here where I've got my mic and all the other gear that I need. But what I find upsetting is I missed the dates there not too long ago to update my gold membership. And for the hour or so that I didn't actually have a gold membership, I was not allowed to watch Netflix. Yeah, even though I pay a separate account and all I'm doing is streaming it through the box. If you're not paying the $60 a year to Microsoft, you don't get to watch Netflix on their system. So, but that sort of thing, you know, plus the fact that every time I turn it on, there's so much advertising on the page. And not just advertising for games, which I guess is fine. I mean, it's a games console, they want you to buy games for it. Okay. And that sort of thing is kind of an interest to anybody that's got an Xbox, because they've got it for games. There we go, we're full. Perfect. How was he making out? 73% after 2 rows. I think he was only getting about 1.5 rows on the wheat, if I remember correctly. So, maybe less harvest on the barley. That's kind of strange. We'll see how it goes. But, so yeah, I was getting a little upset with that. I know with the PlayStation that you don't have to be a member of their, whatever the heck it's called, their online account. But you don't have to have a paid subscription to it. And you can still do things like Netflix, etc., etc. So, they don't have YouTube on it, which they do have on the Xbox, but that's alright. I can watch that on computer. So, but there you go, yeah, so for the very first time. Interesting machine. I can't say as I like the controller as much, although the rest of it seems good. The particular one I bought came with Drake's Deception. Interesting game so far. And I am installing Dust 514 because being an ex-Eve player, I've always sort of wanted to see what it was like from the other end of the stick. So I will be trying that out. But, yeah. And after playing Star Wars The Old Republic for a week, I have once again uninstalled it from my machine in absolute pissed off and disgustedness. I really don't understand why big companies like BioWare and EA and everybody else involved in that can't get it to the point where, you know, simple things that other websites have figured out just don't seem to work. Now, they had a big fracas with the last patch, and it basically boiled down to the patcher they were using was taking, literally 9-10 hours to download the latest patch, even if you had a good download speed. And the only way around that patcher was to download the entire game again from scratch. So that's kind of Mickey Mouse. And there was forum pages full of complaints. Believe me, people are always quick to complain. But what kind of upset me was I decided, well, you know, I do enjoy the story. I do enjoy the gameplay. I am a Star Wars fan, as it were. So the entire lore is rather interesting as opposed to some made-up medieval lore type of thing that most MMOs involve. Problem with it is, I broke down and bought 60-day subscription. Could not enter the code on the website because it kept trying to validate my email. but it would not send a validation email. Now, I don't know how many times I went through it. I even tried at one point using a different email address and setting up a different account, etc., etc. But yeah, that didn't work out too well either. Now here's the real kinda odd bit. All big game companies have a support site that you can contact. The problem with Star Wars: The Old Republic, if you're not a subscriber, the only way you can directly contact support, there's no email, there's no in-game, there's none of that. The only way you can directly contact them is through a paid phone number, which is not here in Canada, believe me, or you have to have a subscription. So if your issue is getting your subscription lit up, you can't contact customer support unless you want to spend, and I worked it out for the long distance fees and the connection, etc., etc., because I use a cellular service. I'd be looking at about $2 a minute to straighten this problem out. So, like I said, you cannot directly or in-game contact customer support unless you're a subscriber. Free-to-play players cannot do that. So, yeah. I basically threw away $30 for nothing and will never support BioWare's crap freaking MMO again. So there you go. But here's where we are in our little Let's Play here. I've got to get these fields harvested, and then I will give you the numbers on the yields and figure out how many bales we can peel off them. And when we've got a whole pile of money again, we'll come back and decide what we're going to do with it. But until then, I've ranted and raved enough for one day, I think. So I will leave you with that. This has been Species 7. Of course, we notice this tractor has no trouble pulling this little trailer around. I'm sure we could get it up to the mill without having to do 2 miles an hour up the hill. But, at any rate, as I say, I will see you all for the next episode. So, take care of each other, and ciao for now.